On the surface, the life of Broads Perry was a portrait of faith, family, and community service. He was a third-generation pastor, a devoted husband, and a leader at St. Mark Baptist Church in Little Rock, Arkansas, where he worked to help new members find their place. To his congregation and online followers, he wrote warmly about his passion for Christian education, his love for his wife, Tabitha, and his gratitude for the life God had given him. But on the night of April 4th, 2019, a single shocking act of violence in his Collierville, Tennessee apartment would rip this carefully constructed portrait to shreds. It would reveal a hidden life built on deception, a secret 2-year affair, and a web of lies that ultimately ended with Perry dead, his wife wounded, and another woman facing a murder conviction. This is the true story of how a respected pastor's double life ended in tragedy. A story told not through rumors, but through the raw emotional testimony of a courtroom. See, Broads Perry, his wife Tabitha, and their family had moved from Little Rock to Tennessee about 6 months earlier. Their life seemed to be in transition, but on that April evening, the pastor arrived unexpectedly at their door. Around 9 or 10 p.m., Tabitha heard a knock. Peering through the peephole, she saw a familiar face, Latoshia Daniels, a woman she knew from church activities, tennis games, and dance classes back in Arkansas. Surprised but not alarmed, Tabitha let her in. Daniels explained she was in town for a conference. The two women sat on the couch, catching up about their children and lives for about 10 minutes until Broads Perry came home. His reaction was immediate. He was visibly agitated and called Daniels an unexpected guest. The friendly catch-up session turned tense as Perry began pressing Daniels about why she was really there. After another 10 minutes of strained conversation, Daniels said she should leave. As the three walked toward the apartment door, Perry's wife led the way. When she reached the stairs outside and turned around, she saw a scene that would change everything. "I see her pull out a gun and start shooting," Tabitha would later testify in court. In an instant, the quiet apartment hallway became a crime scene. Broads Perry collapsed to the ground. When Tabitha rushed to shield her husband with her own body, Daniels ordered her to move. When she refused, Daniels shot her in the shoulder. Amid the chaos, Tabitha heard Daniels say the words that hinted at a motive no one in the family saw coming. "You broke my heart." After shooting Tabitha, Daniels added, "I didn't mean to." Police arrived to find Daniels reloading the gun. An officer shot her with a less lethal shotgun round to subdue her. Broads Perry, shot multiple times in the head and torso, died the next day in the hospital. Tabitha survived her wound, though the bullet remained in her shoulder for months before being surgically removed, leaving her with lasting pain. The immediate question was, why? What would drive a licensed social worker and behavioral health clinic owner, someone trained in managing emotions, to such a violent act? The answer, revealed over years of investigation and a dramatic trial, was a story of betrayal, manipulation, and a secret life. See, in the public eye, Broads Perry's image was consistent. On his personal blog, he described himself as a follower of the Lord Jesus Christ, a husband, and a pastor. He wrote warmly about his wife, Tabitha, and his ministry, which focused on helping people connect and grow in their faith. He spoke of wanting to be an authentic man and led Bible studies for men in a local barbershop, fostering a space for fellowship and accountability. Privately, according to evidence presented at trial, he was living a different story. Latoshia Daniels' defense attorney argued that Perry had seduced Daniels during a counseling session. What followed was a 2-year secret relationship, but Perry, they claimed, didn't frame it as an affair. He presented it to Daniels as something far more modern and consensual, an ethical non-monogamy arrangement. Perry assured her he was in an open relationship with his wife, Tabitha, who fully knew about and approved of his involvement with other women. He reportedly recommended she read a book called The Ethical Slut, a guide to open relationships, and was part of an ethical non-monogamy book club where he communicated with women on a special app. In shocking video clips played for the jury, Perry was heard telling Daniels that his wife, Tabby, was perfectly fine with how he handled things, as long as he was honest and transparent. He claimed Tabitha had made a special exception to their relationship rules specifically for Daniels. There was just one devastating problem. None of it was true. On the witness stand, a heartbroken and resolute Perry's wife denied every claim. She testified that her husband never told her about any relationship with Daniels, never discussed wanting an open marriage, and never mentioned the concept of being sister wives. She had found his constant use of the book club app odd, but had accepted his explanation for it. As the trial progressed, the prosecution proved that after Pastor Perry ended things between him and Daniels, she felt betrayed and heartbroken, especially after investing 2 years in a relationship built on a lie. So she drove from Arkansas to Tennessee with a loaded 9mm gun. The defense argued Daniels had purchased the gun to end her own life, but decided to confront Perry one last time. Regardless of the final motive, it was too late. A pastor who preached authenticity and connection had constructed an elaborate fantasy, convincing one woman she was in a morally sound relationship while assuring his wife of his fidelity. When that fantasy collapsed, it proved fatal. After a week of testimony that included Tabitha's gripping account and the revealing videos of Perry's deceit, the jury deliberated briefly. They found Daniels guilty. She was sentenced, closing the final chapter on the criminal case. Yet there are no victors in this story. A man lost his life. A wife lost her husband and had to learn in the most brutal way possible that the man she loved had lived a secret life. Another woman, whether manipulated or not, will spend years in prison for a moment of irreversible violence. Children lost a father. A church community lost a leader.